screen. I might show your fire screen at some point. Hey everybody, good evening. We have Metal with us tonight at the moment. Although he'll be hopping off at 11 to go join John, like probably everybody else who comes by, and then leave me alone for the last hour. I was just talking with Metal about my Indiegogo and all the hearingness of it, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Probably hearing me
Messed
say
up.
all that. Apparently I'm the only one who's ever gotten this stuff. They have never had it thing. But, they've only had this like 6 months. There's got to be bugs in the system. You'd think. So besides having a fire on your thing, what else are you doing? Let's show everybody your fire.
Yes, my fire.
He's all fired up.
With a picture of me from back when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's because last night we were all in the hangout with Dillard, and he was stoking his own fire with his camera and everything. So Evan and I both set up our own little fake fires that we didn't have to stoke. So then John was jealous.
I guess John will have a fake fire tonight.
No, he'll have a real fire. And we're all going to tell spooky stories or whatever.
That kind of spooky stories I can tell. So it's not really my thing.
Yeah, I don't think any of my stories are actually spooky. At least they don't seem spooky to me. I've had several encounters with ghosts and other weird things, but it's hard for me to consider what's actually spooky. I don't really get scared.
Yeah, same here. I get creeped out, I think, by blood and guts, but, I don't get scared.
See, I don't even get that.
And I just say creeped out because I don't like seeing blood and guts, so. Just, it sort of gives me the EBGBs up and down my spine.
That was like when everybody was going to go dissect the frogs in class, I was like the first one to jump on it. It's like,
no.
awesome. I get to tear this thing apart.
That would not be me.
No, our teacher was smart, though, because he was like, okay, everybody who's excited to dissect a frog, raise your hand. Everybody who's not excited, go find somebody who raised their hand. They'll do most of the gross work.
Yeah. Hey, Elric's here. It's Elric the pirate.
Is Elric a pirate?
I don't know.
I'm a modern pirate.
So, although I did get I did try and today I actually did try and upload. Well, I uploaded one of my reaction videos to my website, and I've got it so you can download it to watch, but
not to where you can watch it from the site.
Yeah. So, but it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
It says he's not a pirate.
It's a shame. Being a pirate's awesome. You find yourself a lot of booty. Maybe even a nice chest or two.
He says hello to you. Howard does. So at least, yeah, like I said, at least that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, you're
He
figuring
said, "I
things out.
be a Viking." What about a Viking pirate, Elric?
The Vikings are kind of technically pirates, at least the ones that actually went onto the longships. Because pirate's really just a descriptor than an actual type of person, right? It's like
Yeah,
it's based on something you do.
yeah, it's a profession.
Yeah,
For lack of a better way to say it.
pirates are just anybody who engages in piracy. If you're a Viking raiding people's vessels or land, you're engaging in piracy.
Okay, he says, or a ninja. Okay, how about Viking ninja pirate?
You know, at Castle Crashers, they had pirate ninjas. You were trying to get from one point to the other, and they just swarm onto your ship.
Just because he said he or a ninja, he would prefer to be a Viking or a ninja. Or a ninja Viking?
Well, see, ninja is also just a profession, right?
Yeah.
Well, a Viking, you could say it was kind of a profession, but there's also like a cultural attachment to it because it was like your class
Yeah.
as well. Not everybody was allowed to go out and be a Viking. But a ninja is just a spy in the Japanese context. A lot of samurai were ninja because they were the people you trusted do it. And a lot of samurai also went on raids in a very Viking-like way. So you could totally be something similar to a Viking pirate ninja.
Okay, well, let's see. Elric, wondering whether I watched the video sent him. Well, I didn't watch all of it. I did watch some of it. The guy talks way too much at the beginning of the damn thing. Just get into what you're supposed to be doing. Don't explain it up the wazoo. We clicked on your thing because we want to learn. And you're right, he talks a little fast and a little. I'm not sure what the other thing is. I wouldn't say comprehensive enough for everybody to understand. I think that's how I'd say it. Well, that's how I'd say it right now, anyways.
I think teachers, like anybody who's trying to teach anything, should take a note from narrative writing, and they should start their lesson in medias res. Just like start in the middle of it, start getting to it, and then find a point to where you can stop and start explaining things in more detail, and maybe cover things that a lot of people try to put in the prologue to their lesson. Keep people excited and engaged in what they're learning.
Yeah. Well, let's see. And there is a ninja precursor called Iga. Iga. Iga.
Iga. Yeah, I don't know what word that is supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be prefecture because there is a province called Iga. It's the only word I can think he's trying to spell there.
Oh, Elric, did you? I sent an update out for the Canadian Shield, and I probably sent. You probably got the email because I did both.
Yeah.
Elric says I can't spell the word right, but Metal said it right. So, well, you only got the ash can metal, but if I had to go and redo it and you did would you be all right doing it off my site and doing PayPal?
Oh yeah.
To,
Well, I didn't only get the ash can. I also before that had
well, I meant for physical, but yeah, you
Yeah.
got the digital copy of the book.
yeah. No, I mean, as long as the money got refunded, sent back, I'd have no problem using the same amount to do it again through PayPal or whatever.
Yeah. Because one person responded and said he had no problem, doing it that way. He's, of course, trying to get the money off Indiegogo. I'm just, it's almost halfway through the month. I haven't got it. I figure I've got to let my people know what's happening and what may happen because of it, and whether they'd be up for it. The whole thing is, this has thrown me off of Indiegogo. I was planning on doing several more campaigns over there.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to do another single one over there ever.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just run things through your own media if you're gonna have to do it that way, right?
Yeah, I might try Kickstarter again. The thing is, I could probably get everybody to go over to Kickstarter and do it if I'm doing a brand new campaign.
Oh yeah, because I've used Kickstarter in the past. I have no problem funding somebody through that.
Canadian Shield #2 and Snowdrift #1. I'm sure I could get the exact same money over there. Maybe a little bit more because they've got a bigger base, and if people notice it's funding.
Yeah, well, especially like if you weren't going to get the push from the people we were expecting to push you, because honestly, we were hoping you'd get funded a lot faster and have a lot more over. If you're not going to get that push anyway, you might as well go to the place that has the higher base.
Yeah. I didn't do terrible for very little, exploit on thing. I got $100, $200 over there of the 500.
Yeah. I don't know. I was talking to John about it too, and he likewise was pretty upset because he was expecting you to make a lot more and felt like a lot of people that you've helped in the past had kind of let you down.
Yeah. But you know what? The thing is, I hate to say it, I expected it. It's sad, but because that's unfortunately the way my life seems to go.
Yeah.
I hate to play that sort of victim mentality. Hey, scary
no, of course you can't play that card. It is kind of upsetting to a degree.
Yeah, I'm just trying to face I'm trying to face facts without playing the victim, or out the facts without playing victim. I think you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I think Kickstarter is a good choice too, because it does have just that bigger base.
Let's see. Our also said Kickstarter actually is changing the way they do things. They got rid of the people who stopped campaigns they didn't like. No, this is not Todd. This is Metal. I mean, Evan.
Yo, Evan, you trying to insult me? You trying to start a fight here?
Question: it depends on which Todd he was talking about. Too, I guess. Don't call me Albert. Why? You got something wrong with Elric? You got something against Elric? Evan? And Evan says McFarlane for the
I mean, that
Todd.
wouldn't be the worst Todd to be compared to. You know, I do kind of like, Spawn, and even some of the stuff that he did to influence with Venom wasn't bad either.
And I think he upgraded how Spidey's webbing was done too.
Yeah.
Elric is a good name.
Oh, he meant Seth MacFarlane.
McFarlane?
To me, that's actually a kind of an upgrade.
Elric says, I like the name Elric. Evan is a better name, says Evan. Guess you could have that discussion all night long.
Yeah, well, with Elric, he can always relate to.
A little bit of personal preference. Pardon?
So with Elric, he can always relate to Elric of Melibone.
Yeah. Oh no. I will not say what the real. I will not say what the real name is. But well, we both know Evan and Elric's not either of their real names, so.
Well, that's the best part about the internet is you can pick whatever name that you actually like.
Yeah.
I'm a man of many names.
Sure I am sure I know both the real names too. I can actually think of Elric's real name off the top of my head, but I won't say it, obviously.
Yeah, yes, because doxing is mean.
But you can say scrambly the letters to say vein with Elric. You can't get Elric from the word vein.
No, but with Evan you can.
Yeah. Yeah, so that means does that mean Evan is vain?
Well, the fact that he's making that argument kind of proves the point. Because it's a pretty vain argument in the first place.
Rick don't know my name. I had it legally changed. Saying when I finally put out the manga. Saying when I finally put out the manga up for contest, I won't be using our name as the artist. Yeah. Unfortunately, at that point, you probably have to use your real name.
No, you can use a pen name. You just have to use like a legit sounding pen name. Like, although my real name is public information, I do have a pen name. Mostly because my real name is a very, very common name for publishing, and I would be lost in the crowd. So I have the name Malcolm Turzek. And all of my works are published under that. So I'm going to put that name for the manga as well.
Makes sense. Okay, so I guess that's not your real name. I think that's what I got to send it to. Hey, since you said it, I can say that part, but like I said,
like I said, my pretty much all my information is public. I'm a public person. I don't try to hide the stuff.
Yeah, I try it, but I don't hide it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't really want it to become public, but if it happens, I'm not gonna, you know, do too much to thing because I don't care right now. not much to, not much anybody could do to me right now.
No. Even though it would kind of make envy, Evan, you would put Vane before Knave because Knave is an actual noun, while Vane is a descriptive word, like an adjective or adverb. So you'd be Evan the Vane Knave.
I would say same with my real name is very common. I wouldn't say so, Elric. I don't think your real name's very common. I don't know a lot of people with it.
My real name, which I'll even just throw out there so I can explain to people why I use a pen name, is Thomas Richard McGrath Jr. And for the last name McGrath, Thomas is the most popular first name. And for that same last name, Richard is the most popular middle name. So the combination is the most popular name for that surname. And the most popular profession is authorship and publishing.
Yeah. Well, hey, well, it looks like we got something in common.
Yeah.
Both got the name. Although mine's first and that's second. Although I do know quite a few Thomases too, or Toms. Okay.
Well, the Irish very early on became very Catholic, so the apostles, other gospel and biblical names have become very, very popular in those areas.
Well, it's like my mom's last name, McTavish. It means son of Thomas.
Yeah.
So
No, this will not be over before the story time. That's why I'm dipping out early.
yeah. Yeah, this ends at midnight where story time starts at 11. That's why I told John maybe around midnight I'd come in, after I end this. MV is my thing, Evan.
How far am I complete? I'm a little past halfway.
Is Rick too good for spooky, scary time? No, it's just that I have my show and it's supposed to be between. I could technically end early, I guess, but yeah, I got to work on my manga this weekend. At least get the damn script written. At least I'm up a few pages. I'm up to page 6 or 7. So, that's good, right?
I don't think anything's happened to the last person that sassed Evan because I sass Evan all the time, and I'm probably the last person to sass him.
Or me. I do it a little bit. I'm here. So. What? Nothing.
Yeah, see, my problem with the manga right now, and I'll pick up Steam again after this portion, but it's going kind of slow because I'm at like this heavy exposition part, and I have to draw like free floating panels and stuff because it's kind of like story time. But after that, I'll be able to get back into the normal flow of the rest of the story. I plan it to be kind of halfway to basically break the one shot in half.
And it says, you're all on the sassy list now. Oh, I think I'm gonna cry, Evan. Oh, sorry, no, that was an onion.
You didn't understand what you said? You said the sassy list was going to make you cry, but oops, it was an onion instead. I don't get how it wasn't clear, plain English.
Onions sort of make people tear up.
They just make me hungry.
Oh, they could probably do that too. I just see, it's onion making me tear up. Not what he said. Not making me sad. Rick, your mic is bad. I don't know what. Some days it's good, sometimes it's bad. The last couple of days, it has not been good at all. Onions never made me cry. Okay, well.
The sound is awful, according to Dillard.
What about now? Am I sounding any better now?
Sounds like something that happens to sassy people.
Yeah, hey, John.
Zero out of 10 would not bang the audio. I don't even want to know how he'd go about banging the audio in the first place.
No, still bad.
Sometimes I feel like installing TeamViewer onto your computer and just going in there and fixing all of your settings for you.
I'd let you.
Yeah.
Or let you try. Okay, Elric says I'm sounding better. I don't know who to believe. People say no or.
Well, I have no problem hearing you, but I'm also in the studio, so it probably sounds slightly different to me than what they're getting.
Yeah. Well, maybe I was going to say mute this. I'm going to time out Scary Bit. He says never trust Elric. I don't know whether I can do anything about the audio or not.
At the moment, there's probably not a lot you can do.
No.
Other than you are on the right microphone, correct?
Yeah, as far as I know. I could probably try and switch a microphone. I'm going to take off Discord, see what that says. He says your webcam is 4K UD. Well, then I don't know who he's looking at, talking to. Kim. Let's see. Audio. Speaker mic. God, how does that sound?
Worse.
Now,
Definitely worse. You should go back to the old one.
I've got 4 things here to choose.
Hello. How does this sound?
Odd.
Hello.
You
Odd?
sound like you're clearer in some ways, but you sound like you're on like an old radio, like a tin can when they went to record that way.
Okay.
Now, what about now?
No, that's muffled. Either option like 1 or 3 were the best ones there.
A mallet says why? Rick Piper, the master of sound. Evan says, let's pick the one that doesn't suck. Yeah, well, that's why I was going through all of them. Then again, maybe I put my headphones in and things might be better too. Okay, how's it sound now?
The same.
The same?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me try to.
How's this sound now?
Well, I mean, I can make you out clearly.
Because I went back to the third one, but with my headphones in.
Yeah, you don't sound so tin canny. This is probably
Okay,
the
we'll
option
keep
to
this
stick
one
with.
up. Okay. Dylan says perfect. Let's see. Tech support streams your peak YouTube content. Mallet says he just got home from buying a car with his daughter. Cool. Alex says you're good now, Cross. I don't know. I guess I should just try and have my headphones in.
That's what most people do.
Yeah, I normally do. I think it's when I'm here by myself. I don't usually have them in. I should probably put them in when somebody else is here.
Yeah. Don't listen to Elric. He said you sounded great before.
And Evan called Scary Bit Scary Butt. Because Howard says because he was, and then he tried to fixing it. Cool. Now try fixing the flashing screen thing. Unfortunately, I don't think I can fix.
No, that's probably your graphics card. And that's probably a driver thing. You with your limited technology, there's probably nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, this. I think this is well. I'm not sure whether you remember the specs hearing whenever, but
Yeah.
this is supposed to be, I think, half decent. I don't think it should be doing what it's doing because I got an AMD dual core A9 9410 with turbo core technology up to 3.5 gigahertz.
Do not trust Scary Bit on that. saying you should overclock your GPU. Only good things will happen.
I got eight gigs of DDR4 memory, and it says an AMD Radeon R5 M430 with 2 gigabytes of dedicated VR RAM. So, you probably one point I might have known what all that stuff meant. But now I don't.
Well, RAM is your random access memory.
Well, I know what RAM is
Okay.
still. But, and I know, what a processor is and all that stuff. But, all the AMD blah, 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 9,410.
Oh, yeah, that's brand stuff.
Yeah, I know it's brand, but, dual core. And I do get dual core. That's 2 cores at 3.5, so about 7 gigahertz. I think would run out to. So, and obviously, some of the technical stuff,
Keep reading off specs. I think it stopped flickering. You reading the specs is what's stopping it from flickering, apparently. It's like witchcraft. You're performing the ritual. It's RAM. Is the Canadian Shieldbot dual core? Oh, come on. He at least has to be a quad core.
Yeah. But I don't get the the i5 and the i7 stuff nowadays. What that's supposed to mean, Well, I know an i7 is better than an i5.
It's just naming conventions for the most part, though processors did kind of change the way they work. You don't need like these big fat brick processors anymore with all those pins. Do you remember the pins?
Yeah.
And if you bend like one pin, it's like done garbage. You should be very careful.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like a chip that flips in there.
Uh-huh.
So when they switched the type of processor, they came up with a new naming convention for everything. So the i7 is the 7th generation of the Intel version of those processors.
Okay. And how would you make out how fast it is at that point?
I believe we still measured it in hertz for like oscillation speed.
Yeah, but where I can see dual core, and I know I double that, 3.5.
Yeah.
How would I tell what to times, that? Or
well, you don't have to, because they'll just give you the total speed on the packaging.
Okay, but what if it's so the total speed would be like if it says 3.5, that's all it is with a i7 core.
It'll say like 7.5 or something when you have like a quad core or something. It'll give you the total speed on there, so you don't have to do the math.
Uh-huh.
And they started doing that too because they realized just how simple the average consumer is. Also, oh man, making computers now are so simple. We were explaining this to Dillard because he was looking for parts to make a new computer.
Yeah, I was part of that.
Yeah, right. You were on the stream, and it's like
I couldn't hear a lot, but
yeah, it was the post stream. But everything's like plug and play, so you don't have to solder or anything now. It's all just like plastic components on the ends of wires, and you just snap it into the color-coded area that fits the same shape.
Yeah.
Like a monkey could make a computer now.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. There's this one guy, channel I've seen. He took he bought a pre-built computer for like $300 or whatever US, and then he went and bought parts for the same amount of money, and he showed how you could, though just building the parts for the same amount of money, he could build a better computer. And then he did put in the description of the thing, the parts that he built. So I was wanting to do that one because it was pretty good.
Yeah, that actually is speciest, Mallet. Humanity first. Have a dab.
Yeah. Oh, Evan says he thinks he's going back to sleep. And Elric was wondering why does everything have to be measured in pain? Because it hurts.
Yeah.
It all hurts. It hurts so bad, Daddy.
Oh, that's because it was John, right? His name was John Hertz, I believe. But Hertz was the guy's last name. And that's how we measure oscillation, is in hertz.
The guys who have to figure this stuff out, their names, you know.
Yeah, like everybody names stuff after them. I'm pretty sure the watt was named after somebody too.
Yeah. The person who figured it out, it's crazy that it's these people that, you know, figure it out. And, you know. It's almost like living in a, you know,
James
comic book. Yeah.
That sounds about right. I would believe that was his name.
But it's almost like living in a comic book where, you know, like as J. Jonah Jameson says, a guy gets 8 arms and his name's Octavius, you know. And an extra set of four metal arms and his name's Octavius. Yeah, that's just convenient.
Oh, he sent me the stream key.
Dillard sent you the stream key?
Yeah. I'm telling him I'll set up in, I don't know, like 5 minutes. Because it won't take me long.
Yeah.
Just so I can I give you a little closure.
Yeah. Evan says, wait, I just had a genius idea. You did? That's a change.
What, you don't like his finger gun cowboy idea?
It's been done, I think. So I wouldn't say it's genius.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were still in. He's like, I can hear you. It's like I wasn't sure if he was still in the chat or not.
Oh, Evan can hear you?
No, Dillard. Because I sent him, I'll set up in 5 minutes in the DM. He's like, I can hear you. I'm watching Rick. I wasn't sure if he was still in there or not.
I thought he might be. Hello, John. Hello, John, my old friend. Yeah, that started out with him trying to get something for me, and then he ends up wanting to build himself a computer.
Oh,
That was
computers
funny.
are nice.
Yeah.
Well, instead of streaming Japanese tanks, Mallet should come over to Dillard's stream and tell a scary story. or any story.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think John's actually that, you know, picky. He just wants good stories being told. He had another great dumb idea.
Oh, Evan said his sort of genius idea was, what if Scary Bit had a bit on the Scary Story show?
Just
And
a
now
little.
he says now he's got another great dumb idea. Why do you hear yelling? I have no idea, Ulrich. Are you hearing things?
Is somebody getting yeeted in the background?
Well, if you're hearing things, if
Yeah.
you're hearing things, Ulrich, it's a good thing. It means you're not deaf.
Yeah. From one of us. Well, I don't hear anything coming through my headphones, so it might be on my end. But I'm pretty sure you would hear it coming through your headphones if it was on my end.
I hear something in your background, but
It's probably
I ignore. I ignore stuff unless it seems too overpowering and it's gonna affect my stream in a negative way.
okay. Time for me to start wrapping up.
uh-huh. So there you go. Metal is off. Anything you want to promote before you leave besides John's stream?
Well, definitely promote John's stream. Come over to Dillard Draws after this or during. You can put both on at the same time. Your computer can probably multitask. And enjoy us making fools of ourselves, telling hopefully good stories. I can't make promises, but it'll be fun regardless. And, check out xdynamuschaos.com. I've got a lot of stuff there.
Evan said, Rick, no, that is private. What is private?
I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, later. Thanks for coming on. Scarabit says sounds boring. Mine would be Ladyboy related. Howard says later to Metal, but Metal's already gone. Howard says, I'm feeling ignored. Leaving a thumbs down. Now and thumbing. He's unthubbing. It will be scary. It will be scary. It will be. Howard says, be right back. It probably isn't even subbed. Let's all mock Dillard now that he can't hear any of this. I wouldn't say he can't hear any of it. Nobody said he wasn't listening in. Rick, do you have an Amazon Prime? No, I do not. I have Amazon on Amazon.ca and .com. Rick, how do you feel about space cats? Well, I did watch Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space back in the day, so I guess I'm all right with space cats. I've seen Red Dwarf. That was all right. Evan, I got all my rework cut today. Ah. So you were real cut up today, Mallet? Isn't there an anime about cat girls from space? Where's Elric? He's somewhere. He said he'd be right back. That's not even a good pun. What's not even a good pun? Rick, don't listen to Elric. He said mangas are only 30 pages. He said some. He said some, not all. Uh, Evan, don't tell Gridlock, but I'm recording City Skylines series for my gaming channel. Is that over here on YouTube or on Twitch, Mallet? And Elric is bad. Took him a month to add some to that statement. No, it didn't. It took you a month to ask him to clarify. Just YouTube on that one. You should probably do gaming channels work real well. I think over on Twitch, there's lots of them. I know. Why do you, why do you always have to contradict me? Because I disagree with you? I see things differently or remember things differently? I could do an RD R2, says Mallet. Okay, so what does everybody think of Shieldbot, or whatever I'm going to call him? I have no idea what I'm calling him. Let's save him. Robo Shield. Shield Buster. Yeah, that sounds good. You should do it in Blender. Yeah, I might. That's a nice, neat idea. Well, hopefully after this weekend, I should be able to. I'll be showing off Toxico. I've got him pretty much all done. The figure. I just need to color him and maybe put some rigging on him. Hopefully, I will be able to get that done this weekend, and then show that off. Whatever happened to Kronos and that other guy? I might return to High Noon just for something to do. Although I do give the right to preempt High Noon during the summer with little thing in case I got something to do. Well, Kronos is still around. He's got his channel. Brandon, he quit YouTube altogether, and his wife. Scott, well, he quit YouTube too. So I did name him Shield Buster for now. I don't know what preempt means. Apparently, that's what. Not talk yourself. It's so hot. Jokes go over my head. Preempt, like they will preempt your favorite show to show football or bring in news or something like that. Well, in my case, I would preempt the show to bring you nothing. Nope. Hey, Rick, no idea. Stream snipe Dillard. Whoops. Control Z. And Ulrich says, I'm not Mallet. I'm just realizing how hot I am from the heat. And a simple joke like that goes over my head. What joke? I wasn't joking about preempting. If I want to suddenly go out and do something because I got the money, or I've got to go out and actually get stuff for the campaign or whatever. If I ever get the damn money, which, well, it doesn't matter so much for Mallet or I think Gavin, but if things don't, yeah, it's over 100 here, or was earlier. It's in the 90s. But Dillard's, I just got a notification for Dillard's stuff in my ear, and it's startled the snot out of me. Let's see, scary, but it says, Rick, have you recognized my terroristic threats ideas? No, I haven't. And what is with this? I'm off to bed at 7. What do you mean? So does that mean you're going to abandon us now, Elric, that Dillard is on? Or abandon me? Or are you just going to watch us, try and watch us both? Reconsider. Oh, Rick, have you reconsidered my terrorist threat idea? What was that again? What was your terroristic threat idea again? So I read it wrong. Leave me alone. I'm not the best reader in the world. English is only my first language, okay? Night night, says Evan. Well, I guess Elric went over to John's. He wants scary stories. I'm not a great reader myself. See, I told you you're going to do that, Elric. You're going to abandon us here. Elric abandoned us. No real fans here. That traitor. Reading is a sucker's game. That depends on what you're reading. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Because if you're reading some comic books, well, I guess it depends on the comic books too. That depends. Was the spooky? Was that was for the spooky bit story? Rick, you should use text to speech so you don't have to read the chat. It's a really good idea that would never work. Oh, trust me, we've had it here before. Every so often, I bring it back. I want to check on something. Oh, somebody put a dislike? Jeez. Thanks, John. I'm going to assume John put the dislike. So I'm going to thank John. Rick, read me a bedtime story. It better not be in a spreadsheet. Things can get speculative if I did that. And do a different color for there. Or maybe we'll make her type white. Now those are probably going to be white. So I don't know. I'll figure it out in a few minutes. Now that Ulrich is gone, I feel safe in saying anime is trash if we are garbage people. You're so nice. Yeah, you are. Evan zipped his lip. Well, Evan, stay quiet about it. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, yes, our crew is done. Either that or he isn't listening well enough. They're all watching Dillard not tell scary stories. Betty's waiting for me to come by. No. It says two in the chat. I know one is me. The other is scary bit. Yeah, I know. That's a bit scary. But I knew it was gonna happen, so I think we need to retaliate on Dillard. How so? How do you retaliate? Especially when, in 45 minutes approximately, just over. Let's make fun of how he uses Hangouts. Is that fun? Me? I'd probably make use of it too if I had a computer that would let me. It's unprofessional, Rick. Why is it unprofessional? Boo, 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 boo. That's, of course, if I can stay awake that long. Because YouTube said it's time to stop, and then they did. Who did? Who stopped what? Stop right now. Thank you very much. I want somebody with the human touch. Yeah. Why the hell am I typing? You're supposed to be reading bedtime stories. Oh, Carrie. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, well, the bedtime story I'm reading you is what you're typing. Yes, that's better. Tell a story. I could tell a story about a man named Jed. He barely kept his hair in the fad. And one day he was sitting at some grub, and up came some oil. Texas tea, black gold, and so many other nicknames for it. I'm up for real this time. I have a good night. Okay, later, Gator. And a wild crocodile make me smile like a mile. And scary. Transport me to a fantasy island with your duck tones. DuckTales. Ooh, DuckTales. Oh, okay then. Tell me the history of the character you're coloring. Not much at the moment. When I was on Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition for the Canadian Shield, I drew up a version and then I just started drawing whatever. And I sort of drew a gender bent version of the Canadian Shield. So that's really all there is to tell about her at the moment. She'll probably end up being part of the multiverse at some point and showing up somewhere in my comics. I created her, Shield Buster, and him all on the same day. Oh man, this is not good. I'm starting to fall asleep. No, not yet. I'll probably make up one at some point. Do you stream of consciousness for 3 minutes? Let's see. Do you do you stream of consciousness for 3 minutes? Let's see what happens when you come up with. I'll only go out for about 10, 20 seconds. Oh man, I might end up ending early tonight too. I gotta, and then I'm gonna have to apologize to John too. Oh, okay, come on, Rick, stay awake, stay awake. Uh, that red, part of that red was not supposed to be erased. Oh, you don't have to keep going on my account. I'm just trying to come up with topics for you to talk. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna get this road done here. This color done here, hopefully in the next couple minutes. That way, Monday, Tuesday, when I get a chance, Or I might come on, I might do a show tomorrow on an improv one. Do you like streaming? Oh yeah, I do. I like being able to converse with people and all that. I don't I don't I don't mind it when nobody's here, or I only half like it when people are not here, I should say. Then it's just me just sitting around talking to myself. I like talking to other people in the chat, trying to do something or on a panel. Okay, so I got most of the that darker red there done. It's just it is hard to do. I think it's hard to do streaming when nobody's around. You got nobody to play off of, nothing to play off of. Just yourself and whatever. And then when you're not allowed any music, doesn't help. Do you like having guests on or streaming solo? Again, I like having guests on because again, it's somebody to play off of, or if I'm going to be by myself, I would like to have music in the background. Just something soothing, not too overpowering. Music I like, obviously. Okay, so I don't know what I'm calling her. She Shield? She Shields. We're going to save her. Um, I like rock. I usually use but I'm pretty much in favor of like all kinds of genres. But I just like it to be the Christian version, Christian lyrics and all that to it. And there is lots of every style, genre of music out there with Christian lyrics to it. Some is easier to find than others. Oh, there's a buckler. Now I've got my own buckler. Maybe I'll show him here in a sec. Uh, Here's what the buckler's going to look, or something close to that. What the buckler's going to look like in the cross comics. When he faces off against the Canadian Shield. And he has a different history than John's. So I do have that. His name is Pierre Victors. He is from the future. He's from when the Canadian Shield suit was for a man like Cougar originally made. He was the guy that was supposed to get it in the future, in the time zone that time period it comes from, but it disappeared before he could try it on. So he ends up coming back in time, stealing it off the Canadian Shield, and the Canadian Shield, or man like Cougar, goes to the future, gets it back, and then he steals this suit from probably some sort of display, some sort of museum or whatever, and goes back and tries to one up the Canadian Shield on heroing. Probably won't do the best of deeds or whatever. He'll end up probably being a little bit like my Booster Gold. But not so much out for profit, out for fame, but not profit. So he'll end up grandstanding a lot and probably get in over his head. This suit is not supposed to be quite as powerful as the suit the main Canadian Shield wears. So that's it in a nutshell, this Buckler's story. Is there going to be a jealousy rival thing between him and the Shield? On his part, the Canadian Shield, except for his grandstanding and all that, he will probably be annoyed at the grandstanding and all that, or the interference and causing either life or property damage because of it. But he's obviously jealous of the Canadian Shield. Because technically God, if you will, picked him over him. The Canadian government may have picked him, Pierre Victors, but God picked Manly Cougar. But that's like about 6 years into my comics where you will see him. How does the Buckler travel through time? I'm not sure yet. My character, I have a character called the Wiz. He's given the knowledge of the 31st century, so maybe one of his devices, somehow the Buckler in his time gets a hand on one of his devices that allowed people to travel through time. That's a speculation at this point because You know, I I had always wanted to do the story of the guy that, well, at first it was going to be the scientist that created it. It was going to come back and all that, but and I didn't have the name the Buckler then, but that story I wanted to do. Somebody come back in time, grabbed the suit, went to the future, and the Canadian Shield got the suit back. Now, with John creating quote unquote the Buckler, I've it's got added on to where he ends up the person ends up coming back in time and becoming a rival, or I'm not sure what the correct term is would be. But because of the Buckler idea, I was able to expand on what I know the basics of what's going to happen in that story arc, and that's going to be a 12-month arc too. I'm going to have this is going to happen in my comics. Actually, probably the 5 year, well, 5.5 year mark it'll start, where this guy comes back and steals the suit, and in 12 issues, the Shield's going to go to the future and get it back, and then he's going to come back to the present. That's going to be called the Year of Hell in my comic books, because all my major characters are something is gonna go disastrously wrong in their life, And I figure mainly Cougar getting the Canadian Shield suit stolen off him, and him having to track down where the guy went and chase him down to get it back. I think that's a bit of a hell, and then ending up with a hero villain out of the deal. Like I know my one hero that I was mentioning earlier, the Wiz, he's gonna get a bit too big for his britches, too much on his high horse, and he's gonna be ostracized from the Christian hero community. He's gonna be kicked off the hero team that they formed. So he's gonna have a fall from grace. And he's actually probably going to create a couple of other superhero identities to try and get back in the goods, and eventually they'll be taken over by somebody else after the Year of Hell. I've got all sorts of ideas. I haven't got them all fleshed out because it's 5.5 years in to the comics. Well, the Wiz, I think you're talking about the Wiz. Will he become a villain or will he stay a hero? Um, Ultimately, he will stay a hero. I'm not sure how he'll learn from his mistakes over the year. But yeah, he'll ultimately end up a hero. But like he's going to be a very big jerk for that year. Well, he'll be starting to be the jerk even before that year, and that's half why he gets kicked out and all that. And he's probably going to lose a lot in his life. Probably have to hit rock bottom or whatever. I haven't got, like I said, I haven't got all the details worked out because of he just succumbs to hubris and needs to learn some humility. Yeah, because over the 5 years, he will have upgraded heroes. He will have been the reason some heroes have come into being. This guy is given the knowledge of what I said, the 31st century. If God was to, not Terry come back, I'm not sure what how much you know about Christian theology, but there's something we believe in called the rapture. Most believe it's going to happen. I'd say soon, but probably in the next 50 years, if that. But my thing is, God can see all different timelines, so it's like, God, he asked God for the knowledge of the 31st century if he was to, wait that long to come back, and for what technology would be like, and so then the Wiz has all this stuff, and he ends up helping create heroes, upgrade them, thoughts, all that. And like you said, like I said, and you said, well, you said based on what I said, he gets too big for his britches. Yeah, it's and being as it's a Christian-based comic company, one of the female heroes is going to end up getting pregnant out of wedlock. I'm not sure which one of my main female heroes is going to get pregnant out of wedlock. There's going to be that storyline and whatever is going to go with it, which I have no idea yet. My one hero, the Insecto, his wife is going to end up becoming a superhero behind his back and sort of testing him, his loyalties, if you will, in the year of hell. My one hero, the Flame, is going to give. No, Insecto's a hero. My one hero, the Flame, is going to give up herodom because of family. And then there's going to be like 4 or 5 or 3 or 4 people arise to take his place. That's going to be turned into a mad fest. Sort of like, almost like when Superman died and there arose heroes in his place to take his place. Oh, I was thinking of Toxico. Yeah. Uh, uh, although I'm not sure. Well, I guess with him quitting, I guess it could be year of hell. And I just don't how 3 or 4 other people taking him on the mantle of the Flame or trying to claim it is a year of hell, but I'll figure things out. Although I know 2 for sure that are going to try and take on the mantle of the Flame. Well, I think one or two of my main female heroes are gonna think. My one Ozona, she owns a business. I think she's gonna lose everything somehow, hit rock bottom, be like she'll be almost like Hancock, the hero living on the streets, living in the gutter. This Year of Hell sounds like it will have some interesting storylines. Yeah, and that's just based on the main 7 characters that I know of right now. Like, what other comics will I be doing at that time? I don't know, and what will I might have to come up with storylines for other characters. Like if I have one of my other heroes takes off or whatever, I'm gonna have to figure out stuff like that for them because it's gonna be across the whole comics line. Everything that is in the excuse the expression, the shitter. And just as that storyline is ending, that story arc is ending for all of them, we have probably a month or 2 months of it, maybe longer, called A Matter of Time. And that's basically, well, I think I told you the other day about this one. Somebody goes back in time and kills Mary and Joseph, or Mary, I'm not sure exactly who. And the timeline resets or resets, and you see new versions of the heroes. Well, some of them you don't because they somehow, I know how, but I'm not going to say it. They escape getting reset, and of course, those heroes have to figure out what the heck is going on, and then they have to go recruit some new other heroes to go battle the bad guys and reset the timeline. And then I don't know where things go from there for my comic verse. But yeah, those are some ideas that are the further ones out. Of course, the first. Yeah, I know some. Well, I came up with the idea for the quote unquote alternate universe thing. It was just more due to the fact that this is a thought I had quite some time back. Um, I believe time travel is possible. Yeah, it gives you chance to tell stories you couldn't tell in the main storyline. True. Well, and this is part of it, really. For me, it's like I said, I believe time travel is possible. And for me, it's not God that would restrict time travel because it would be man at best, and it was born out of that thought, and it's more that event, where time gets changed. because there's nothing man can go back and change that God can't retroactively fix, for lack of a better term, because you know he's outside of time. He can always say, it's a new time. Suddenly, it's a new timeline, and you can't surprise God. The fact that you kill Mary and Joseph. For me, Christ is still going to come, so maybe it's not Mary and Joseph that have him in the year, 20. Maybe it's Helga and Mike that have him in the year 2000. So, I just thought I'd like to put that concept into my comic books one time, and well, that might not be a matter of time storyline. I, that's probably no, that's more a change in time. I actually have a novel I'd like to write called A Matter of Time, where an atheist scientist tries to go back to millions of years in a time machine, and he's stopped at about the 6,000 year mark. It's like ancient Jesus. I don't know, but yeah, maybe. I just made up a couple of names there, and I think you know that, but. And people have tried to do not quite the same thing, but without a real backlog storyline, they tried to put the technology of today back then, or in the time of Christ, do that sort of thing. So I'd like to have it with all the tech. You're going to have all the technology around. To me, in that when I first thought of it, do you think CERN is experimenting with time travel now? I don't know. I don't know enough about CERN to probably make an informed decision. But I think if time travel is available now, for lack of a better term or terms, I do believe it's somewhat government regulated. I don't think, or government regulated by scientists. I don't think the scientists would want Joe Blow getting in time just to go back and just look at stuff. Trying to envision a world in which Jesus was never born would be a fascinating thought experiment. Yeah. Or in my case, it would be I'm having Jesus in that time, in that thing. He's going to be born, but he's going to be born like 2,000 years later. So he's been born just at about our time right now. And so you're going to see what's happened to society. My first thought for that was the Roman Empire extended to today, but I might not do that. I might do something else. Yeah, imagine how much of the modern world was influenced by Christianity over the last 2,000 years. Yeah. I might have a couple other fictitious things. Maybe even it's the American Empire instead of the Roman Empire. I don't know. It's a little bit away, so you know. But then again, America would be different because of that too. Everything would be different. What do you imagine the dominant culture would be? I don't know. That's what, you know, I jokingly said the American Empire, but, you know, I'm probably going to make something up. I'm probably going to change names of countries and everything. That technically that is going to. I think that would take. I think that's going to take a lot of planning to do it properly, to do it good. You know, I was just thinking about it in a couple months thing, but maybe I'll make it longer, that timeline. Like my Age of Apocalypse. Although that lasted only 4 months. That did last 4 months. And there was ramifications because of it too in the main timeline. Oh, I love the Age of Apocalypse, though to be fair, it was the only comic stuff I ever read. Yeah, I like the Age of Apocalypse too. I have all the comics from it around here somewhere. Well, in my boxes. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do it, but you know, it's a little bit out, obviously, as I was saying, and you know, it's I've got to get this first year and a half right done, and I've really got to get this first comic out at this point. But it is midnight, my friend. Thank you for staying by. Of course, I thank Metal for being here. I thank for everybody in the chat. You know, and what I've said about, I'm not sure whether you read my thing. I want to take the good stuff from DC and Marvel, add that in my own stuff, and make the greatest comic universe ever known to mankind. I didn't quite say it that way, but. Take the good, take the bad, all that stuff. So, yeah, I might do an extra show now that I got the duck for the month. I might do a show on D Live or Twitch tomorrow, or maybe here on YouTube. So keep a lookout. So we'll catch you all later. Well, I'm going over to John's now. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, and have a wonderful night.